Good morning, students. So, we are in this chapter that is transition and inner transition elements. So, we are discussing about the D block elements in detail. Last class, we discussed about the stranded electrode potential and the ionization, enthalpy, oxidation states, everything. Now we are going to see about the magnetic property. So you know very well all the compounds they exhibit, most of the compounds of transition elements they exhibit the magnetic character, and especially if you see this D block elements, they are mostly paramagnetic in nature. So magnetic properties are related to the electronic configuration, which means if they have an unpaired electron, they will be paramagnetic in nature, and if they have a paired of electron in the electronic configuration, they will be diamagnetic. All that you will know that. And what will happen in 11th standard, we studied that the electron is spinning around its own axis. So how this electromagnetism is created? So it will spin around its own axis. Along with that, it will also have the orbital motion around the nucleus. So due to these motions, a tiny magnetic field is created, like how Earth is rotating and revolving around the sun. Same way, the electron also will rotate and revolve around the nucleus, and because of these motions, tiny magnetic field is generated, and it is measured in terms of a magnetic moment. So how it is measured? It is measured in terms of the magnetic moment. On the basis of these magnetic properties, materials can be broadly classified as paramagnetic, diamagnetic materials. Besides these, we have ferromagnetic and antiferromagnetic material. Now let's see what is this diamagnetism, paramagnetism, ferromagnetism and antiferromagnetism. Materials with no elementary magnetic dipoles or diamagnetic. So magnetic dipoles say illa abdina, they will be others completely paired electrons irukuna, it is diamagnetic. In other words, the species with all paired electrons exhibit diamagnetism. Just now I told you எல்லா எலக்ட்ரான்ஸும் பேர்டா இருந்துச்சுன்னா they will exhibit this diamagnetism, and this kind of materials are repelled by the magnetic field because the presence of external magnetic field. So external magnetic field இருக்கிறதுனால இது ஈஸியா repel ஆயிடும், and the magnetic induction is introduced to the material to generate weak magnetic field that opposes the applied field. So நம்ம ஒரு magnetic field apply பண்றோம், ஆனா இந்த எலிமெண்டால அந்த magnetic field வந்து என்ன பண்ண முடியல, ஜென்ரேட் பண்ண முடியல. சின்ஸ் ஆல் தி எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் ஆர் பேர்டாக இருக்கிறதுனால என்ன பண்ணுறோம் அப்படின்னா, நம்ம இன்டியூஸ் பண்ணி ஒரு மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டை க்ரியேட் பண்ண வச்சு அந்த எக்ஸ்டர்னல் மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டை நம்ம அப்போஸ் பண்ண வைக்கிறோம். நெக்ஸ்ட் இஸ் paramagnetic solids having unpaired electrons possess magnetic dipoles which are isolated from one another. So in the absence of external magnetic field, the dipoles are arranged at random and hence the solids show no net magnetism. But in the presence of magnetic field, the dipoles are aligned parallelly to the direction of the applied field and therefore they are affected by the external magnetic field. ஸோ அவங்களே ஒரு மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டை வந்து என்ன பண்ணுறாங்க, ரேண்டமாக அலைன் ஆகி க்ரியேட் பண்ணுறாங்க. ஸோ எக்ஸ்டர்னல் மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டால் தே ஆர் ஈஸிலி attracted. And is ferromagnetism. Ferromagnetic materials have domain structure and in each domain the magnetic dipoles are arranged. So domain அதுக்குன்னு ஒரு ப்ராப்பர் ஃபிக்ஸட் ஸ்ட்ரக்சர் இருக்கும், how they need to arrange. But the spin dipoles of the adjacent domains are randomly oriented. So அது ப்ராப்பர் அரேஞ்ச்மெண்ட்டில் இருக்கிறது ரேண்டமாக அரேஞ்ச் ஆகிருக்கும் அந்த எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் எல்லாமே. Some transition elements or ions with unpaired electrons, they show ferromagnetism. And 3D transition metals, metal ions or paramagnetic solids often have a magnetic dipole moment corresponding to the electron spin contribution only. So 3D transition metals யாரை பொறுத்து தான் இந்த magnetism exhibit பண்ணுது, which is only because of the contribution of the electron spin. Okay, magnetic dipole moments எது டிபெண்ட் பண்ணியிருக்கு, எலக்ட்ரான் ஸ்பின்னை பொறுத்து தான் இருக்கு. The orbital moment L is said to be quenched, means stopped. So the magnetic moment of the ion வந்து அந்த L ஆல்ரெடி L ப்ரொடியூஸ் பண்ணதில் ஆர்பிட்டால் மொமெண்ட் அது quenched நம்ம என்ன பண்ணிடுறோம், பிளாக் பண்ணிடுறோம். ஸோ எதை பொறுத்து நம்ம இந்த மேக்னெட்டிக் மொமெண்ட்டை கால்குலேட் பண்ணுறோன்னா, mu is equal to G into root of S into S plus 1 mu B. So what is Sன்றது டோட்டல் ஸ்பின். Okay, total spin quantum number of the unpaired electron, and mu b is the Bohr magneton. Okay, now for n unpaired electrons, இப்போ வந்து n unpaired electronsனா எவ்வளோ unpaired electrons இருக்குன்னே தெரியல. ஸோ நம்ம s is equal to n by 2ன்னு எடுத்துருக்கிறோம். அண்ட் ஃபார் an electron, ஒரு எலக்ட்ரானுக்கு வந்து g is equal to 2. ஸோ சப்ஸ்டிடியூட் பண்ணோன்னா we will get the answer for the calculation of this magnetic moment. எதை யூஸ் பண்ணி calculate பண்ணலான்னா mu is equal to root of n into n plus 2 mu b. ஸோ இது வந்து ஒரு ஜென்ரல் ஃபார்முலா. இப்போ n எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் இருக்கும்போது எப்படி calculate பண்ணலான்னும் போது அதுக்கு ஒரு ஃபார்முலா டிரைவ் பண்ணுறாங்க. தட் இஸ் mu is equal to root of n into n plus 2 mu b. இப்போ n இருக்கிற இடத்துல நம்ம ஒரு எலக்ட்ரான் அன்பேர்ட் எலக்ட்ரான் இருக்குன்னா 1ன்னு போடணும். 2 electron இருந்ததுன்னா 2ன்னு போடணும். You have to just simply calculate. The magnetic moment can be calculated using the above equation, which is compared to the experimental values in the following table. In most of the cases the agreement is good, which means they have calculated for d is equal to 0. They substituted 0. 0ன்னு வந்தாலே அது வந்து டயாமேக்னெட்டிக் தான். ஏன்னா அங்கே எல்லாமே எலக்ட்ரான்ஸ் இருந்தால் தான் அங்கே ஒரு ஃபீல்டு, மேக்னெட்டிக் ஃபீல்டே க்ரியேட் ஆகும். பட் திஸ் இஸ் டயாமேக்னெட்டிக். அண்ட் D1னா ஒரே ஒரு அன்பேர்ட் எலக்ட்ரான். D2 D3 எல்லாத்துக்குமே நம்பர் ஆஃப் அன்பேர்ட் எலக்ட்ரான்ஸை வச்சு they have calculated the what magnetic moment. So the values are good. Moving on to the catalytic properties. How these d block elements are used as catalyst. The chemical industry uses a number of products, manufacture a number of products like polymers, flavors, drugs, and so many things. Most of the manufacturing processes have adverse effect on the environment. So there is an interest for eco-friendly alternatives. So நம்ம பண்ணுற எல்லாமே அட்மாஸ்ஃபியர் என்வாயன்மெண்ட்டுக்கு நல்லா இருக்கான்னு பார்த்தா கிடையாது. ஸோ when it will be good, it should not create any pollute or damage, or otherwise at least we should reduce the chemical waste, and you have to increase the good number of yield, and we have to reduce the timing, and it should be cost effective. So likewise, with the help of the catalyst we can change all this criteria. So we can make it as eco-friendly. So as they require low energy, catalyst use பண்ணும்போது they require low energy, they will minimize the waste production and enhance the conversion of reactant to product. And many industrial processes use transition metals தான் நிறைய கேட்டலிஸ்டாக யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. நாட் only metals, metal compoundsம் யூஸ் பண்ணுறாங்க. Transition metals has energetically available d orbitals that can accept electrons from reactant molecule, or metal can form bond with reactant molecule using its d electrons. அந்த கேட்டலிஸ்ட் அந்த d block எலமெண்ட்டோட சேர்ந்து ஒரு bond formation create பண்ணி அந்த reaction மட்டும் speed பண்ணிட்டு and then it will come out. For example, in the catalytic hydrogenation in alkene, the alkene bonds in the active site by using its pi electrons with an empty d orbital of the catalyst. Empty d orbital of the catalyst என்ன பண்ணுது, அந்த நம்ம மெட்டல் ஆல்கீனோட பை எலக்ட்ரான்ஸோட சேர்ந்து ஒரு பாண்ட் கிரியேட் பண்ணுது. The sigma bond in the hydrogen molecule breaks, and here hydrogen atom forms a bond with the d electron on an atom in the catalyst. So the two hydrogen atoms then bonded with the partially broken pi electron, that is pi bond in the alkane, is formed to alkane. Alkene will be converted to alkane. In certain catalytic processes, the variable oxidation state of transition metals, they find applications. For example, in the manufacture of sulfuric acid from sulfur trioxide, vanadium pentoxide it is used as a catalyst to oxidize SO2. And also in this reaction, vanadium pentoxide is reduced to vanadium 4 oxide. And some of the examples it is given, most of the what is this, all the catalysts are given in pink color. So propene வந்து butane 1-al and 2-methyl propane 1-al convert பண்ணுறதுக்கு they are using the cobalt complex. And rhodium iridium complex is used for the conversion of acetaldehyde to acetic acid. And Ziegler-Natta catalyst is titanium tetrachloride with aluminium triethyl aluminium. Trialkyl or triethyl aluminium is used for the conversion of propene to a polymer. So all these are the what? Transition elements catalyst. Okay. Now, moving on to the alloy formation. So, how do they form alloys? What is an alloy? An alloy is formed by blending a metal with one or more other elements. The elements may be metals or non-metals or both. ரெண்டுமேவா இருக்கலாம். The bulk metal is named as a solvent. The one which are taking in a large quantity is a solvent. The other one which is taken a smaller proportion, we call it as a solute. Here we have a Hume-Rothery rule, very important. According to Hume-Rothery rule, to form a substitute alloy, the difference between the atomic radii of the solvent and the solute, it should be less than 15%. நம்ம எடுக்கிற சால்வெண்ட்டுக்கும் சொல்யூட்டுக்கும் அட்டாமிக் ரேடியஸ் டிஃப்ரென்ஸ் வந்து less than 15% இருக்கணும். Both the solvent and solute must have same crystal structure like BCC, FCC and the same crystal structure இருக்கணும். And the valence and their electronegativity difference must be close to 0. ஸோ இந்த சாட்டிஸ்ஃபேக்ஷன் இருந்தால் தான் இந்த ரூல்ஸ் எல்லாமே Hume-Rothery ரூல் சாட்டிஸ்ஃபை பண்ணுச்சுன்னா it will be a very good alloy. And transition metals satisfying these conditions forms a number of alloys among themselves. So very very important 2 mark ma. So இந்த transition metals எல்லாமே இந்த rules எல்லாமே satisfy பண்ணுறதுனால they are ready to form so many types of alloys with similar and at the one metal, and the atom can be easily replaced by the other metal from its crystal lattice to form an alloy. And the alloy forms are the alloy which ones are formed are very very hard, and they often have high melting point. For example, ferrous alloys like gold and copper alloy and chrome alloys are formed. And formation of interstitial compound. What are interstitial compounds? An interstitial compound or alloy is a compound that is formed when small atoms like hydrogen, boron, carbon and nitrogen are trapped in the interstitial holes in the metal lattice. So in between சின்ன ஹோலில் ஒரு ஆல்ரெடி இருக்கிற கிறிஸ்டல் ஸ்ட்ரக்சரில் இன் பிட்வீன் இருக்கிற ஸ்பேஸில் இருக்கிற ஹோலில் போய் வேறு ஒரு மெட்டல் ஆட்டம் போய் ட்ராப் ஆகுது அப்படின்னா அதுதான் நம்ம இன்டர்ஸ்டீஷியல் காம்பவுண்டுன்னு சொல்கிறோம். they are usually non-stoichiometric compounds. Transition metal forms a number of interstitial compound like TiC, that is titanium, carbide, zirconium hydride, manganese nitride, all these are formed. The elements that occupy the metal lattice provide the new properties. இந்த metal lattice போய் அது உள்ள ஆக்குப்பை பண்ணும்போது அதோடைய அந்த மெட்டல் அந்த கிறிஸ்டலோட ப்ராப்பர்ட்டியே சேஞ்ச் ஆகுது. ஸோ they are hard and they show electrical and thermal conductivity and they have high melting point than those of the pure metals. Transition metals have hydrides which are used as a powerful reducing agent, and metallic carbides, they are chemically inert. So interstitial elements are where the atoms are get trapped in the crystal lattice. Okay, and the formation of complex. So how the complexes are formed? So transition elements have a tendency to form coordination compound with the species that has an ability to donate an electron pair to form a covalent bond. That is, coordinate covalent bond means what? One element itself will donate a pair of electrons for the bond formation. Transition metal ions are small and highly charged, and they have vacant low energy orbitals to accept an electron pair donated by other groups. So what they do, they transition elements வந்து small and highly charged இருக்கிறதுனால they have vacant low energy orbitals, vacant orbital இருக்கும், and they will easily accept the pair of electrons which is donated by the other group elements. So in the properties இருக்கிறதுனால they form large number of complexes like tetracyanoferrate, that is iron complex, and cobalt complex, hexaaminocobaltate and hexacyanoferrate. So these will be discussed detailed in the next unit. In the complex formation, D block elements oda complex formation ellame nama next unit la we will study that in detail. So with this we have discussed for today metallic properties, how to calculate the magnetic, not metallic, magnetic properties, and how to calculate how the catalyst, how the D block elements act as a catalyst, how important they are in industries, and how do they form alloys. For forming alloy, what rule to be followed, that is Hume-Rothery rule should be followed for the formation of alloys, and formation of interstitial compounds, and what happens if an atom is get trapped in a crystal lattice, what happens to the properties. The properties are getting altered in interstitial compounds, and how do they form the complexes. So this again complexes, we have a detailed chapter. That is next chapter, coordination chemistry. So with this we will stop here. Tomorrow we will see the oxides and oxyanions of metals, and then we will see, by this week we'll try to complete this chapter. We are having still preparation, properties and uses of potassium dichromate and potassium permanganate, very important, followed by F block elements. That will take another 1 or 2 classes. Once that is over, we'll go to the 5th chapter. So complete your assignment. Today you have writing assignment. Thank you.